Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So over the past couple of days, there's been a whole host of art-related drama on Twitter. Twitter freaks have been gathering in the thousands to cancel two artists for artwork that they consider problematic. So we're going to begin with this post right here. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this Ariel artwork. It is, of course, the character from the Little Mermaid franchise. This artist has been accused of whitewashing this character and being a racist for what you're looking at right now. This is the artwork that is getting this artist attacked by thousands. So for clarification, in case you don't know, Ariel is from the Little Mermaid franchise. The cartoon version has always had pale skin, but recently in the live-action remake that is currently in theaters, they hired a black actress to play the role of Ariel. And that has caused a whole host of drama, and I just want to start right here with this post, right? So there's going to be so much anger over it. The reading comprehension skill of the average Twitter freak is in the gutters, okay? So right off the bat, they say that this is a cartoon Ariel. Yes, the live-action remake did come out with a black actress playing the role of Ariel, but the cartoon version never changed. This is how it has looked for decades. Probably longer than most of these Twitter freaks have been alive. That's just been the status quo. And by the way, let it be known, I don't care what color people want to make certain fictional characters. It really doesn't matter to me as long as you're not rubbing it in other people's faces and saying things like I fixed your art or whatever. Like we've talked about this before. But when you have situations like this, where you have another artist quote retweeting the original piece of art here, saying, a bit weird, but here's mine, that's where we start having a problem, because this is done in a condescending way to shame and attack the original artist, because apparently they're not allowed to use this cartoon version that has always been present for decades. And look at this, 240,000 likes on this post. Yeah, I'm sorry, the only weird thing in this entire situation is you, this artist. It is the most petty move in the world to use your art to attack another artist. It is just a way for them to promote their art and to call this weird. Please tell me what is weird about the original piece. I could wait all day. There's not a single thing you could say that would justify calling this weird. And they'll try to backpedal this artist and say like, oh, I wasn't calling them out. This is calling them out. Calling their artwork weird with no justification and then promoting your art in the process is some weird stuff, okay? That is an aggressive move, and it's to shame and belittle this artist. So how about we don't do that, right? And it's not surprising that when you have a post that viral, essentially accusing this artist of doing something wrong and pointing to the color of the character's skin, it's not a surprise that people come out of the woodwork to say things like this. How dare you whitewash Ariel like this? Again, like the level of delusion here, this has been a long-standing thing. Ariel has had fair skin in the cartoon version forever, for literally decades. And all of a sudden, people are now claiming it's whitewashing Ariel if you make artwork based on that. And the crazy thing is, one of the main counters to people upset about the fact that they hired a black actress to play the role of Ariel in the live action remake was that, oh, the skin color of characters doesn't matter. It's just a mermaid. Who cares what the skin color is? And then all of a sudden somebody makes a version of Ariel based on the cartoon skin tone, and all of a sudden now race does matter. I mean, it's pretty obvious that these people are just hypocrites looking for a reason to attack this artist and people like them who are making completely harmless art. But moving on, we have another post that is connecting this Little Mermaid drama to another set of Twitter drama. This user saying, the same racist Nazis who complained about a black elf in the Rings of Power and a black mermaid in the new Little Mermaid are now throwing a fit because there's a black Aragorn in the new Lord of the Rings MTG set. I effing hate how many racists there are in the board games space. So this is another example of recoloring the skin of an existing character. And a lot of people like this claim that this is some sort of a progressive thing, when I think it's not very progressive at all. It's basically sending the message that the only way that these people can create strong black characters is by recoloring a pale skinned character that already exists. If you want to get proper representation, make new black characters and have those succeed. That's the best way to do this. And constantly wanting to recolor existing characters for representation is a very shallow move by these companies and license holders, and it's not something that should be like praised as a daring move on their behalf. If they really cared about representation, they would make new original black characters and push them to succeed instead of recoloring existing characters. But moving on, you got more comments and replies to the original art, like this one saying, "Babes, this is shady considering the hate Hallie has received because of her race/skin color playing Ariel. And the original animated version and tons of fan art already have Ariel like this. It looks good, but the fact that you get to be oblivious as to why this is sort of weird is telling." Again, what is weird about this artwork? Nothing, by the way. Just let me make that clear. There is nothing weird about this. And the level of entitlement that like, oh, there's already so much artwork that already exists, so you have to make it the new way. No. That's called artistic freedom. You can draw whatever you want. And like I said, I don't care if people want to make artwork based on the live action version of Ariel. That's totally fine. That's your decision. But the second you start rubbing it in other people's faces and calling their artwork weird by contrast, that's when there's a problem. And of course, you know, the usual people, the Twitter freak mentality here. The second someone draws a character in a skin tone you don't like, yes, threaten them with physical violence. That's always the key, right? But moving on, here's another piece of artwork that's been causing drama on Twitter over the past couple of days. This is actually some art from the animator Scott Falco, who is the unfortunate target of a lot of Twitter freaks. He is getting attacked on a weekly basis for his artwork and comments about fictional characters. And this user reposted his art saying, "I remember a collective meltdown of Twitter over this drawing." And of course, in the drawing, Scott upped the age of Penny Parker to 18 years old. Now, this post has gotten a lot of interaction. Over 36,000 likes, almost 4 million views. A lot of people are talking about it. And of course, they're angry about it again. And it goes without saying, all of the discussions relating to the age of fictional characters are so exhausting. All of it just is so meaningless. Arguing about the age of a fictional character when the creator could just come around and change the age however they want at any given point. Like, are you supposed to respect that? Will it make sense to you? I don't know. Antis care way too much about this stuff, and it's truly mind-numbing. Here's one of the quote retweets saying, "It's extremely weird how y'all age up a minor while also not changing a single thing about their design whatsoever." So it's like, what do you want? Do you want it to be a kid? Do you want Penny Parker to be younger? I don't understand. But if you want proof of how stupid this whole concept is, it's been many years since Penny Parker has been created, and yet her age hasn't changed. Are you going to respect the time that has passed? Of course you're not, because the way fictional ages work is not the same as the real world, which tells me it shouldn't be treated the same way, right? And people like this brought up a great point saying, "So funny how people will give you shit for looting Penny, but will be okay with Gwen loots despite the fact that they're the same age and make it make sense," which is a very valid question because nobody cares if you do anything involving Gwen. And honestly, you want to know the reason for it? It's because Penny is drawn in a anime style. That's literally the only reason people have this sort of different treatment for these characters. That is the sole reason, I promise you. There's so much hypocrisy surrounding the treatment of those two characters. And, if you've been paying attention to Twitter, how they treat anime-style drawings is completely different from regular drawings. But, of course, Twitter freaks immediately resorting to more threats saying involuntary euthanasia in a video game for child predators and so-called lolicons. Of course, they say in a video game. because like that's totally gonna prevent you from getting your account reported for threats. But don't worry, I read their bio. They're neurodivergent, so they don't know what they're saying. And yeah, here's another one saying, Lolicon Coomers, when I leak their IP address onto every social media website, suddenly it's not just fictional pixels on a screen. Yeah, unfortunately, the only difference here is that doxing is actually a crime and involves real people and harms real people. I hope this separation of fiction and reality helps you, because those are two completely different things. One that involves fictional characters and harms no one in real life, versus something that does involve real world principles and harms real people. But are we surprised that's how Twitter freaks act? Of course not. But that's going to do it for this video. Please consider supporting the artist featured in today's video. Share your thoughts about today's topic in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.